Welcome back for today's lessons, offering solutions to the problem. I'm Jodi Jones, a New York City fashion photographer and creative director with over 20 years experience working with brands on their marketing strategies. This series aims are to give influencers, creatives, and entrepreneurs a set of tools to attract the right people to the brand in the right way. By the end of today's lesson, you will have the know-how to tackle problems and where to focus your efforts to give your customers the best experience possible. Having the correct content marketing strategy in place is the make or break for most businesses. It's the difference between growing, stagnating, going backwards, and even sometimes closing down. Effective communication is the key. Get the point across that you are focused on the why. The customer's problem is worth solving and not on just the product or service they need. In the current economic climate, you must make a shift in the thinking of your business to be successful. If your content marketing doesn't show the value of your business and what it brings to the table, it's like talking into a brick wall. The customer will not be engaged at all. Getting emotional. Being solutions-oriented is great. Just don't get too caught up on what that solution is. Your marketing needs to resonate with the customer on an emotional level to trigger that all-important response in the brain that makes them want to listen to your brand story. Remember, it's not the sales pitch of your product. It's pitching that the problem you are solving for the customer is meaningfully targeted and worthwhile. There's a slight difference, right? Listen before you talk and listen more than you talk. Show that you're interested and sympathetic. Divided attention. So what's the best way to divide your energy and invest the right amount of effort in the correct ratio? Well, famous physicist Albert Einstein said it best. If I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about the solutions. Begin by changing the way your brain addresses and processes an issue. You must spend more time with the problem than the solution when interacting with your customers. The solution you choose based on face value may not be the right one for the customer. By really seeing things from their point of view, you gain an understanding that will lead you to making the correct call about how your company can best help the customer. I spend more time on the phone, Zoom, Skype, etc., than just on Photoshop or Illustrator. Otherwise, we'll get to the wrong solution. When in doubt, keep asking why. You want to sound as if you're a young child curious about the world around them. Getting the right info. The major benefit of really listening to your customers' wants is that you get a much better idea of what they need before you even make any suggestions. During this phase of the discussion, it's important to establish that there is, in fact, a need for the solution you are about to offer them. By recognizing that they have an issue, you are rationalizing that it needs to be addressed, driving the customer to want your solution. Find out what the customer really wants out of the exchange, and then help them justify the benefit that working with you will make in their life. Remember, the modern customer is value-oriented and not just fixated on price or ownership. They have to see that what you are bringing is reliability and creativity to the table, and you have their needs as the driving force behind all of your advice. The age of the dominant customer. Never assume that yesterday's customer will be there tomorrow. Your customer service strategies and processes must capture the effort needed to solve the problem. If you need to, write out a storyboard of a common problem encountered by your customers. By reading over open-ended questions and their feedback, really take the time to learn if there are a few common reasons why a customer is coming to your company for help and what they expect out of the transaction. Finding the answers to these questions will organically lead to the right solutions for your customers. What are the options? What are the different options to solving the problem? Well, the short answer is that it all depends on whether you need to take an individual approach with a specific customer or you're looking through your feedback for some common elements that really need to be addressed. With a recent client that I had, it was a total rebranding that needed to be done, from new lighting, new talent, and new styling. Another recent client wanted a new campaign and lifestyle messaging, but we kept all their e-commerce the same. Your buyer feedbacks will contain little stories about their experience with you that will really help your team make connections and find solutions that may not be obvious at first glance. By focusing your time on the customer's needs, your research, product development, and change to your framework will be automatically skewed toward a deeper understanding of who your customers are and how best to serve them. For example, in photography, I had the need to hire a graphic designer to really help fulfill my clients' visual wants. By not focusing on a single solution to a problem, but the customers themselves, you can describe the situation better to your team. Open up a forum to discuss a wide range of possible improvements to your product or service to better serve your customer. Closing the deal. By the time you get around to offering the customer a solution, you want their decision to be a no-brainer. By understanding their needs, how you can help them, and what they expect from you, whatever you offer in terms of suggestions or advice will be the best course of action. Now target the exact examples you have showing you have the solution. You can make them and present them in a presentation for them, perhaps the next day. To briefly recap what we have covered, here are a few key points to remember from today's lesson. Focus on the problem. Look at it from the customer's point of view. Don't stop asking questions until you have found out their why. Build trust with your customer so by the time you offer a solution, they know you have the right one. The to-do list for this week. In your next conversation with a customer, make a point of understanding their problem before going any further. Do a practice call with your teammate, friend, or family. Look at it from their point of view and have their interest in mind when offering a solution. The team here at Jodi Jones Studio really hope that today's lesson has taught you the importance of focusing on the problem.